Hello, what's going on, guys? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world watching this Chelsea news video here on Football Therapy. Hey, Happy New Year, friends! Here's to 2022 and hopefully better times. And also, importantly, the transfer window is open for Chelsea Football Club, which brings a variety of things. Opportunity, resolution for Chelsea to sort out the fullback problem, and who knows, maybe even more. And also, perhaps not good things, like opportunity, bad things like Cesar Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Andreas Christensen, and Antonio Rudiger are now all officially allowed to agree contracts with new clubs that they would be joining in the summer. Not Premier League rivals, of course, foreign clubs, but you'd imagine all of them would be joining foreign clubs. Azpilicueta and Christensen to Barcelona, maybe, Rudiger to Real Madrid, and, Thiago Silva. Let's be real, Thiago Silva is going to extend. Lots to get into today. Updates on the Lukaku situation and fullbacks. Lots to get into. It's going to be a great Chelsea news video to start off 2022, my friends. Join the fun, join the experience, the Football Therapy revolution by subscribing and hitting the bell notifications icon to get this year started. Let's get a bunch of likes on this video. Guys, over here, I think, probably 2,000 likes, maybe more. That would be nice. Nice one. So let's start off with... what should we start off with? Let's start off with Lukaku. Okay, so there was an embargoed part of Thomas Tuchel's press conference that was released last night. It's usually past 10:30. And it was speaking about how to get the best out of Romelu Lukaku. Of course, more context is required. Tuchel did say these comments prior to the additional stuff coming out from his interview. Perhaps you could say the more shocking stuff. So he said, to get the best out of Lukaku, quote, training, playing, training, sleeping, eating good. Training, playing, sleeping, eat good, and drink lots of water. Sleep, train, and don't give interviews. So, yeah, hasn't lost his sense of humour, Thomas Tuchel. And that's good, that's positive. And he's still feeling positive about Romelu Lukaku's potential performances for Chelsea. He also spoke of he's going to have more discussions with him, chats with him. He talks about how he chats with all the players. He's generally been a little bit like, well, I talk to all the players all the time. He seems happy. We want to keep people happy. Let me sip my tea one moment. But I reckon that sort of liberal, agnostic outlook will become a little bit more tainted when he reads the entire interview. We'll put a pin in that for the moment. I've reacted ample amounts to that interview. You guys have made your own decisions, I'm sure. Chelsea released their Happy New Year graphic of all the players, and it was Kante that was front and centre, not Lukaku. I couldn't even see Lukaku on there, interestingly. We'll have to see what happens with that. I'll, of course, keep you guys updated. Romelu Lukaku was training yesterday with the first team, as you'd imagine he would be. It's his duty under contract to report to training. He was, but it just sort of indicates that he wasn't brought aside, do you know what I mean? So, just a little update on the Lukaku situation there. The transfer window is open today. It's the winter transfer window, and one thing is for sure, Chelsea are in trouble. Oh yeah, by the way, just to finally put a pin in the Lukaku thing, I forgot to say, Fabrizio Romano and indeed Matt Law have both reported that Chelsea won't sell Lukaku this month. Funny that, because they'd almost certainly make a gargantuan loss. And I did say I'll talk about this briefly. Chelsea have recorded a decent financial loss in their last period when presenting and reporting their accounts of like 146 million. And I don't know if that was including Romelu Lukaku purchase. Basically, Chelsea, I've chatted to a lot of people about this. I chatted to my friend Joe Tweedy, I'm sure you guys know him. He's a pretty good financial expert when it comes to all these things. And he's explained how Chelsea have got this particular financial model where it's great when you can sell a lot of players, make a lot of money, and it's great when the financial and footballing climate is in the norm, as in, like, there's no world apocalypse and stadiums are full, and Chelsea can get by, and they can generally spend a lot. Of course, they've got a lot of money being put in by Roman Abramovich. I believe the second most in the Premier League in terms of owner investment, only behind, I believe, Manchester City. And Man City have got like substantially more, but Chelsea is still second. And Chelsea usually rely on making a decent amount of revenue from player sales. This is what made Marina Grant of Sky essentially the boss man of Chelsea, because she was sort of so good at this, generating funds and generating revenue from players. And Chelsea, of late, would have reflected on their model quite poorly, because the likes of Livramento and, Gurhi and, all the other lads that have gone for next to nothing, academy lads that could have been worth a lot of money, sort of hit them negatively financially. I don't think Chelsea are in an absolute crisis, but perhaps not the strongest financial position. I certainly reported on this channel how I thought Chelsea were in, before these accounts were presented, a strong financial position, because we did generate funds from recent player sales. We did qualify for Champions League again. We did win the Champions League, which brings its own revenue, brand deals and marketing. So, I don't think Chelsea are in huge trouble. I'll keep a close eye on that, but certainly worth mentioning. Chelsea will still spend money with their ownership in Roman Abramovich, and, thank the Lord for Roman Abramovich in terms of being a Chelsea fan and getting, reinforcements to your team to try and challenge for titles. Friends, the transfer window is open. Ben Chilwell is out for the season, confirmed again by Thomas Tuchel, and Reece James is probably out for 3 months plus, minimum 6 weeks. You're looking at 3 months, 3 months plus, though, I reckon. Just in my heart, in my head, you have to be prepared for Reece James. Maybe you got to say like he's just out now as well for the season. That's probably a safer way to negotiate your thoughts and feelings about the Chelsea situation, because then you can be like, all right, if he comes back later and he's in good form and he's like Reece James form again, great, drop him into some games. But at the moment, you've got to consider alternatives. We can't have Alonso and Hudson-Odoi as left wing-back options and Cesar as Piliqueta and Pulisic as right wing-back options. It's not good enough. Pulisic did look okay there, but in terms of we need specialists now. We need players that have grown up doing that kind of stuff. And there's 2 players that come to my mind now in terms of realistically, perhaps not the most exciting options. Like we all want Digne and Dest, or I think even Teo Hernandez is probably too far-fetched, but Luca Digne, maybe Dest, some guys, but these are people that will be, unless Digne is alone, guys that will want to sign 5-year deals, be included in the squad, and maybe then, they sort of slowly become these kind of players that have actually hurt Chelsea financially in recent years. Your sort of Zappacosta type of, not necessarily skill levels, but these kind of players that have just sort of floated around, taking decent wages as Chelsea first teamers, and hurt us financially in terms of our long-term development and business plan. So Thomas Tuchel did comment on Emerson Palmieri. Now, the general feeling between sort of us Chelsea fans and people in the media is that Emerson couldn't be recalled because he's played a lot of games, and maybe that's true. Maybe he can't be formally recalled, but that doesn't mean Chelsea can't try and do something to get him back in another way or something. So this is a quote from Thomas Tuchel coming from the Chelsea website. "We are looking at it now because we now have a new solution with Ben Chilwell." Situation, excuse me, not solution. Don't get excited. It's a situation, not a solution. "So, of course, we look into whether we can do something and what we can do," he said. "One of the possibilities, and players we know and that we love as a person," which makes me laugh. He's not like a player that we love to play. It's like we love him as a person. That we know and that we love as a person is Emerson. "But we need to check. We do not know, we do not into the details, we are discussing and reflecting, and this will go in the coming days and weeks." Hopefully days, ladies and gentlemen, not weeks. Of course, playing for Lyon, he's played over 15 games, which is generally a positive thing. It means he's playing at one of the better clubs in Ligue 1 to a good level. It's a higher level or a better club than Trevor Chalobah was playing at Lorient last season, so think about that. I don't really hate on Emerson at all. Like, he played under Tuchel, he played left centre-back, he played left wing, he played right wing, and he played left wing-back. But he seemed to play left wing-back the least, which is interesting, I thought. But Tuchel clearly trusts his versatility, and as he said, he loves him as a person. Honestly, if we had this might be recency bias, and just because I've just seen Alonso a lot, and I've seen him in sides that are losing. So, I know people love to bash Alonso, but maybe it's just because he's knackered. He isn't that fast, and we're losing, so he's become a bit of a lightning rod, and that's, could be largely unfair. You've got to be balanced with these things. But and maybe because of that recency bias, but if we had Emerson back, I'd start Emerson first to be like, give him a go. Are we going to be more dynamic? Is he going to be closer to Ben Chilwell in terms of his engine getting up and down? Which, by the way, he should be. And I always say over the last 2 years on Football Therapy, but there was a time Emerson Palmieri was really good for Chelsea. People forget it, but it's true. He was at the end of Maurizio Sarri's reign. He was our starting left back over Alonso. He was excellent. He combined with Eden Hazard really well. He combined with Ruben Loftus-Cheek really well, and he was dynamic and exciting. And then at the beginning of Frank Lampard's reign, after Maurizio Sarri, he was, I know it's dumb, it's a dumb metric, but he was our highest rated Who Scored player for months, and he was a left back. So there was this time when Emerson was actually a really good footballer, and obviously he was starting for Italy, and didn't he start the final of the Euros and win that? I heard Italy won the Euros. I don't remember personally, but so yeah, I don't want to bang on about Emerson too much, but that's important. And another one that people are talking about is, of course, Newcastle United target Kieran Trippier, who's recently won La Liga as a starting right back for Atletico Madrid, Diego Simeone. He obviously played a lot in the summer for the Euros, a very trusted player for Gareth Southgate, much to many Chelsea fans' frustrations, because Ben Chilwell didn't get on the pitch, and in fact, right back Ben Trippier was preferred to play at left back over Ben Chilwell, which of course is wrong. But, saying that, he's a good player. He's a senior player. He's 31 or 32. So if you could get him on a short-term deal for, rotational wages, I mean, how much are Newcastle going to pay him? I know they're rich, but how much are they going to pay him? So, and what's important here is he can play on both sides. So he can play as a right back, he can play as a left back. He knows how. He's just recently been coached by Diego Simeone. He's not like he's gone to Spain to have a kickabout and not work hard anymore. Dude just won La Liga under Simeone. Do you know what I mean? And he can play on both sides. I was saying Man United should sign him, and he'd start for Man United immediately and be their right back, over Wan-Bissaka, because he'll be a dynamic right back. He's not going to be our right back. He'll be someone to step in for Reece James, who's decent, and if we're in a pinch, which, let's be honest, we always ruddy are, put him at left back and then put Cesar or right back or whoever, or Hudson-Odoi. Do you know what I mean? He can put a cross in. He's smart getting back defensively. He's not like a Galactico, but remember when we won the Champions League? Take you back to last year, right? That season, okay. No, well, I'm getting confused now. Okay, the season where Atletico Madrid won La Liga, they nearly didn't win La Liga for one reason, and that's because Kieran Trippier got banned for some gambling scandal or something. And it went to show you how much they relied on that right-hand flank for delivery, ball progression. So much went through him. And his absence, Kieran Trippier's absence, actually created for a while a La Liga title race. So I just want you guys to understand the importance of how well he's been playing recently. Excuse me. So this could be a player that could be a really useful asset if it could be really cheap. I think he's got next to nothing left in the deal. He'll considering his age, and and he wants to come to England. He's willing to come to Newcastle. If you offer him 2-year deal at Chelsea, he might take it. And especially if he thinks he's going to play soon, because that actually playing for the next few months, a little bit in the Chelsea side, gives him a much better chance of getting into the World Cup squad for Gareth Southgate. And let's be honest, that will be his target. He'll do a Thiago Silva one last dance, even though Thiago Silva's much older. But for England, it's difficult. Do you know what I mean? So he'll be all right, a couple of years at Chelsea. If I play there for the next few months a lot, I'll go to England. I'll go to Qatar. Anyway, there's going to be loads of stories coming up in terms of the transfer window. Certainly ins, maybe even a couple of outs. I'll keep you guys posted. Make sure you do keep it locked to this channel, Football Therapy, and have the bell notifications icon turned on when you sub, so you're the first to know, friends. Thank you for joining me. I'll say it again, Happy New Year. See you next time. Peace.